Greetings viewers, this is Gambian Talents TV. Today we are at the National Assembly. Today's sitting will be based on the adjournment of the bills. I am your reporter, Mbondo Sise. Stay tuned as we bring you the details of today's settings. Thank you.
Who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men. We beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servants, whom thou hast been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this land. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner to promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country, and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our charge. Amen. Today's sitting marks the end of this ordinary session. Thus, the fourth ordinary session of the Assembly in the 2023 legislative year, often referred to as the longest and busiest session of the Assembly. This was precisely a 6-week ordinary session with lots of businesses, prominent among which was the consideration and approval of the estimates of revenue and expenditure of the Republic of the Gambia for the fiscal year 2024 after thorough scrutiny. The session witnessed the tabling of important private members' bills for consideration by this Assembly, including other important motions and reports. Honorable members, as has always been said, the business of the plenary can never be exhausted. We will therefore today start the motion on the adjournment debate to adjourn this ordinary session, sine die. Therefore, I wish to welcome His Excellency, the Vice President, and all honorable ministers here in present to attend this very important sitting of the Assembly, being the adjournment debate. This is a unique sitting of the Assembly at the end of each ordinary session, allowing honorable members the opportunity to discuss and debate on cost-cutting issues, which of course requires the attention of the executive. At the appropriate time of the debate, I will invite His Excellency, the Vice President, and honorable ministers to also participate in the debate and respond to issues raised regarding their portfolios. Honorable members, the adjournment of this session is a moment of reflection and anticipation as we temporarily suspend our legislative proceedings. As the Honorable Speaker, it is both an honor and a duty to offer a few words as we mark the conclusion of our ordinary session. Our parliamentary journey over the course of this session has been marked by spirited debates, diverse viewpoints, and a collective commitment to the betterment of our society. We have grappled with complex issues, navigated the ebbs and flows of politics, and made decisions that would impact the lives of our constituents for years to come. It is a testament to the strength of our democracy that we can come together from various walks of life, representing different constituencies and ideologies to engage in this noble endeavor. Honorable members, during this session, we have sought to address the pressing concerns of our time, from economic challenges to environmental crises, from social justice issues to the safeguarding of our liberties. We have seen the power of the democratic process in action, where ideas are tested, refined, and sometimes transformed through the crucible of debate and deliberations. The work we do here in this hallowed chamber is not just a matter of policy and legislation. It is a reflection of our commitment to the people we serve. It's about improving their lives, enhancing their opportunities, and safeguarding their rights. It's about striving for a more just and equitable society. As we adjourn this session, let us take a moment to express our gratitude to the dedicated public servants of this institution who work tirelessly behind the scenes to make our legislative process possible. Their dedication ensures that our democracy remains robust and functional. In the days and weeks to come, I encourage each of us to reflect on the work we have accomplished during this session and the work that lies ahead. Let us continue to engage with our constituents, seek their feedback, and work collaboratively across party lines for the greater good of our nation. I therefore want to express my appreciation for your commitment, passion, and dedication to the service of our country. As we adjourn, let us carry forward the lessons learned, the bonds forged, and the spirit of cooperation that defines our democratic institution. Together, we can build a brighter future for all. Consequently, honorable members, we will seek to finish the adjournment debate today. The office of the clerk shall provide the necessary meals to enable us finish today. My colleague, the people from LRR East, that's Jara, you will be provided food. I thank you, honorable members. I now invite the clerk to continue and proceed. Correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move a motion for the correction and approval of the said record of votes and proceedings? Again, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Wednesday, 28 December 2023 be considered and approved. Honorable members, as I said, we all have copies. And as usual, we look through it page by page, followed by your comments and observations, beginning with page 1.
The Anti-Corruption Bill 2023 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice.
Honorable members, we recall that the reconsideration stage of the Anti-Corruption Bill 2023 was concluded on Monday, 18th December 2023. Accordingly, today is appointed for the third reading in accordance with Order 75 of the Standing Orders. In this circumstance, I will now invite the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice to move a motion for the third reading of the bill entitled Anti-Corruption Bill 2023. The consideration stage with amendments be read a third time and passed. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, can you read the short title of the bill?
Anti-Corruption Bill 2023.
Honorable members, the bill has now been passed.
4 and 75, the third reading of the Animal Health Bill 2023 by the Honorable Minister for Agriculture.
Honorable members, we recall that the consideration stage of the Animal Health Bill 2023 was concluded on Monday, 18th December 2023. Accordingly, today is appointed for the third reading in accordance with Standing Order 75. And I therefore now invite the Honorable Minister for Agriculture to move a motion for the third reading of the bill entitled Animal Health Bill 2023. Honorable Minister, please.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the motion that the bill entitled the Animal Health Bill, having been read here 3 times, be passed by this August Assembly. Thank you.
Honorable members, any seconder? Woolley East?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion. Thank you.
Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the bill entitled Animal Health Bill 2023, having gone through the consideration stage with amendments, be read a third time and passed. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk, can you read the short title of the bill?
Animal Health Bill 2023.
Honorable members, the bill has now been passed.
(54.1). Motion on the adjournment debate. Be it resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned, signed, die by the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kantora.
Honorable members, in accordance with the provisions of Order 13.5 and 54.1 of this, the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kantora will move a motion for the Assembly to adjourn, sign, die. Before allowing him to do so, I wish to draw the attention of the Assembly to Order 54.3 of the Standing Orders, which reads, and I quote, "During the debate on the motion on the adjournment of a session, no honorable member shall speak more than 15 minutes, except that the Speaker may, at his or her discretion, allow the mover of the motion extra time for his or her reply. Due to the exigency of time, I wish to appeal to honorable members to be judicious in their interventions, as well as avoid repetitive deliberations. Finally, honorable members, I want to remind honorable members to take note of the relevant provisions of the standing orders regarding the adjournment debate. I now invite the Honorable Majority Leader and Member for Kantora to move the motion for this Assembly to adjourn, sign, die. Honorable Majority Leader, please.
And more to all of you. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to Section 98.1, Subclause B of the 1997 Constitution, and in accordance with Order 13.5 and 54.1, I beg to move the motion for this Assembly to adjourn, sign, and die. Honorable Speaker, this motion will provide a summary of what transpired in this August Assembly during the 4th ordinary session, which is referred as the budget session of the Assembly, from 17th November to today, 21st December 2023. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, throughout the Assembly's deliberation during this period, we considered and adopted records of votes and proceedings of the daily sittings as required by Standing Order 35, sub 2 of the Standing Orders. Honorable Speaker, bearing in mind Section 774 of the Constitution and the Assembly's quest to ensure greater scrutiny and accountability within our democratic governance system, this Assembly continued to cordial but thoughtful interaction with the executive, administering oral questions and answer sessions with honorable ministers as it concerned their respective portfolio departments and agencies. During this course of this interaction, the following honorable ministers appeared before this Assembly to answer oral questions and answers by honorable members of Parliament. First, His Excellency the Vice President, Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice, Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs, Honorable Minister for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Honorable Minister for Land, Regional Government, Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports, Honorable Minister for Agriculture, Honorable Minister for Communication, Honorable Minister for Petroleum and Energy, Honorable Minister for Fisheries and Water Resources, Honorable Minister for Environment, Climate Change, Natural Resources, Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, Honorable Minister for Defense, Honorable Minister for Interior, and Honorable Minister for Trade, Regional Integration and Employment, Honorable Minister for Communication and Digital Economy, and lastly, Honorable Minister for Foreign Affairs, International Cooperation and Governments Abroad. On a similar note, and pursuant to Standing Order 100, His Excellency the Vice President of the Republic of the Gambia provided a reply to a report to the National Assembly Standing Committee on Finance and Public Accounts Committee on the 2019 audited accounts of government, or the General's report on COVID-19 response phase 2, annual activity report, and audited financial statements of the public agencies, institutions, areas, and municipal council. Honorable Speaker, this August Assembly witnessed and tabled in consideration and adoption of the following motion. Pursuant to Section 152, subsection 1 of the 1997 Constitution, and the Standing Order 86-1, motion for the laying of the 2024 estimate of revenue and expenditure of the Republic of the Gambia as at 1st January to 31st December 2024, board date inclusive. Second is the motion to debate on the 2024 estimate of revenue and expenditure of government, and equally the motion for the Committee of Supply on 2024 estimate and revenue and expenditure of the government. By the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Members of Parliament, in terms of bills, this August Assembly consider and or pass the following bills during the session. The Appropriation Bill 2024 tabled by the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs, the bill was passed. Rent Bill, the Rent Amendment Bill 2023, a private member bill by Honorable Madi M.K. Sise, member for Serkunda West. The Local Government Amendment Bill, number 2, Bill 2023, a private member bill by Honorable Member Yaya Sanyang, member for Latukunda Savage. And lastly, the Public Order Amendment Bill 2023, a private member bill by Honorable Suleiman Saho, member for Central Badibu. Unfortunately, Honorable Speaker, the Local Government Amendment Bill number 2, 2023, and the Public Order Amendment Bill 2023 failed to gather the majority approval for this August Assembly. Regardless, Honorable Speaker, the volume of private member bills being presented in this legislature indicate this Assembly's resolve and progressive stance to take up its principal mandate without entirely relying on the executive as historically the case. I therefore wish to commend the honorable members of Parliament who assume the daunting task of introducing the bills, and of course the Office of the Clerk for facilitating the entire process required to introduce these bills. Furthermore, Honorable Speaker, the Assembly considered clauses 2 and 75 of the Anti-Corruption Bill 2023 by the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for Justice. The Animal Health Bill 2022 by the Honorable Minister for Agriculture, and just witnessed the Assembly read the third time and passed the Anti-Corruption Bill 2023 and the Animal Health Bill 2023. Thank you, honorable members. It is worth noting that, Honorable Speaker, honorable members, that the passing of Anti-Corruption Bill 2023 today is completion of historic task by this August Assembly, and it includes indicative of the Assembly's resolve and joining the executive in addressing issues relating to mismanagement of public funds and all forms of corruption. We commend every Gambian and indeed development partners for their patience way throughout this year of careful and detailed consideration of this very important bill. Honorable Speaker, honorable members of Parliament, the following reports of the undermentioned parliamentary committees were considered and adopted. The reports of Auditor General on the audited financial statement of the central government of the Gambia for the year ended 31st December 2020 by the Honorable Minister of Finance and Economic Affairs. Consolidated report of the Finance and Public Accounts Committee on the committee's recommendation of the 2024 estimates of revenue and expenditure of the Republic of the Gambia by Honorable Chairperson of the committee. Reports of the Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters on the Criminal Offences Bill 2020 by the Honorable Chairperson of the committee. Report of the Standing Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters on Criminal Procedure Bill 2020 by the Chairperson of the committee. Report on the Standing Committee on Human Rights again and Constitutional Matters on Legal Petitioner Bill Amendment by the Honorable Chairperson. Report on Joint Committee on Human Rights and Constitutional Matters, Local Government, Land IEC Ombudsman on Election Bill 2021 by the Chairperson of the Joint Committee. Report on the Joint Committee of Agriculture and Rural Development, Health and Animal Health Bill 2020 by Honorable Chairperson of the Committee. Report of the Public Petition Committee on the closure of petitions from the Gambian standards in the United Arab Emirates, UAE, 2020, the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee. Report on Defense and Security on the committee visits, security installation and facility across the country in November 2020 by the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee. Finally, Honorable Speaker, this August Assembly is here to commence the motion on adjournment debates to adjourn sign and die. The trust and confidence bestowed upon this Assembly by the citizens, along with their corresponding expectations, are well within the notice of this esteemed Parliament. Therefore, I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of both sides of the Assembly to reassure citizens of our unwavering commitment of this Assembly body to diligently serve the supreme interests of this nation without fear or favor, affection or ill will or any of its kind. Honorable Speaker and members of Parliament, collectively, we as representatives can overcome the economic, security, and other social challenges facing our nation in democratic dispensation. We are in a democracy, and differences in opinion, ideas, and wishes are inevitable. That is what ensures accountability in our governance process, and this Parliament and government must, in all instances, remain committed at all democratic values and principles, most especially those enshrined in our Constitution. It is only in this way that we cannot continue to progress, live in peace and harmony, and achieve the prosperity that we all collectively desire as people of a nation. Honorable Speaker, while I thank my fellow honorable members for their foresight and dedication to duty during this session, I must, like in the previous session, challenge all of us individually and collectively as an assembly to reflect on the needs from stronger commitment and dedication to the principal functions of this legislature. We must remind ourselves that it is worth nothing the diverse and sometimes cumbersome engagement members are faced with. We cannot negate our cause function, especially as it relates to attending sittings. We should attend sittings and on time, not at least because the trust of the nation lies in this assembly, and we cannot by any of us conduct or seem to betray that very trust. I therefore enjoin all and sundry to recommit to the proper and effective functioning of this assembly. These we should do because the entire nation look up to us. Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for the manner in which you have continued to diligently handle the affairs of this assembly competently and professionally. And I pray that Almighty Allah grant you the strength, the health, and wisdom to continue steering the affairs of this assembly. I equally extend the same appreciation to Deputy Speaker for competently deputizing you severally during this session. And thank you, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Honorable Speaker, members of Parliament, I'd also like to thank and appreciate, of course, the Office of the Clerk and the National Assembly Service, his deputies, and the entire staff of National Assembly Service for all the support and services rendered to honorable members during this session. Sometimes under very difficult and trying circumstances, we appreciate your commitment to duty. Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move.
Debate be limited to 8 minutes maximum. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no.
No.
First of all, I want to thank my colleague honorable members for their commitment from the starting of this session to date, and all our potential partners and stakeholders, that's the ministries and agencies who were with us today since the end of this session. Basically, what I just want to say, I must have to thank my people, that is the people of Bundu, who brought me here, but equally as a representative of the people of Bundu, there are so many projects that we are currently having in Bundu, and one of the projects is the road, the Bundung Road project, which definitely I want to commend. Yes, basically.
Yes, there are still a lot of clerks up. Okay. Continue, please.
Yes. So, as I was saying, as the representative of the people of Bundu, I know we have so many issues that we are trying to address, but based on our collaboration with the government. So currently, we have issues of water and road project, and currently, I just want to inform this Honorable August body assembly for some of the updates that are currently happening, because my concerns were raised here, and thank God, all the concerns that I raised, that is the water issue and the road project, have been taken care of by the government, and I must use this opportunity on behalf of the people of Bundung to thank the government of the Gambia for definitely responding to our call. Because the reason why I am sent here is for me to come and negotiate with my colleague members and also the ministers that are responsible to at least address some of this concern. So equally, if I raise a concern and they happen to respond positively to the concern, I must thank them on behalf of the people of Bundu. Because the reason why I am sent here is for me to come and at least represent them, talk about their issues, and if those issues are being taken care of, definitely I must commend the ministries and all the government for definitely responding to our needs. Because at the end of the day, we are all here sent by our various constituencies, electorates. So for that being the case, I always want to collaborate and partner with all National Assembly members here and all potential stakeholders in the government machinery to ensure that I give development to my people. So equally, there are certain projects also that are going on in Bundu, that is the Mboyo field, which has been given to the people of the community of Serekunda, Bundung, and Bakote. Currently, that project is going, so we want to appeal to the Ministry of Youth and Sport to talk to the contractor to fast track that project so that our young people can have a better place to enjoy. Because actually, in fact, it has really affected our this year Nawetan season because they were using football, secondary school football ground. And during the process, school, normally students are normally in class and they keep disturbing them. So I want to use the select committee on youth and sport to at least also try to work with the ministry so that at least you can, because as I said, I am just here to collaborate to achieve what I want for my people. That's my goal. So for that being the case, and I'm always willing to do that. So for that being the case, I also want to discuss about the relationship between the local council and the central government. Because as the chair of the regional government, Lands and Ombudsman IC, definitely the way and the manner the relationship is between the local government and the central government, I think it's high time we all sit as a country and understand that both the central government and this local government are all here to represent and at least service the needs of the people. So for that being the case, this is something that I think we all know, because in most of the area councils, there are issues, administrative issues, okay, according to corruption issues or whatever, but we must have to respect the rule of law equally. And the local government, the area councils, equally, they also need to be ready to collaborate with the central government so that at least we can all work together to achieve our common goal. Because it's not nice the way and the manner how the area councils and the central government are going. If I say central government, that is the ministry, though each has a responsibility at your level, but equally they should be partners and see each other eye to eye. So equally, we want to use the opportunity on behalf of my committee to also appeal to the Ministry of Regional Government for them to fast track. If I say fast track, I know the process is going on to fast track the Local Government Act so that some of the issues that area councils are crying or councillors are crying, at least it can be captured so that at least it can, at least be at standard, wherein at least it will, So for that being the case, I just want to give this update and I thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.
In respect to our borders, I know significant steps have been taken, especially towards Das Lame N, and I will never relent until this problem is resolved. It is indeed a very disturbing issue going on in this particular area. Though at least we are able to strike a compromise, but I want to urge and challenge the Ministry of Local Government, especially the Permanent Secretary who sits at the preparation of the roadmap to once and for all demarcate that particular area. Is very important for us to fast track it so that to avoid, because there are instances whereby issues occur which are not controlled. So definitely I would like the ministry to engage the the Senegalese counterpart to look at these particular areas. They are very worrisome. And the other issue I want to talk about, that is the just concluded Meet the People tour, which I listened very well, pertaining to some development in Brikama, the entire Brikama, depending on both North and South. I want to remind this August Assembly, in 2022 budget that has been approved by this Parliament, a road that was earmarked by the Ministry of Work and the government to be constructed was adequately factored in the 2022 budget. And up till today, to our surprise, it has not been constructed. The President did Meet the People tour, and he made this pronouncement that this road is going to be constructed. And during the campaign, from 2022 up till date, that has not been touched. And it has been already factored, and this has been a problem. And there were a lot of promise that was given to the people of Brikama, but this never comes. And I want to believe that Brikama is an integral component of this country, and certain major development are very key. And when you come to even the institution of the government, Brikama is no small area. We have the size, we have the population, together with our region, West Coast. So we believe we constitute an integral component. Promises were made, and I still want to remind, the issue of restoration of the street lighting, the issue of the hospitals. Even though we have struck a compromise to remove the issue of Wi-Fi and CCTV camera, but we want to have this street lighting in our tradition. It's very key. And up till today, if you go to Brikama at night, it's a problem. Now people are even compelled to go in for solar street lighting by communities mobilizing funds for themselves. So that is something else that we have to look at it. The issue of the hospital. I think Brikama was the first community to be promised with an out-of-state hospital. And still this is a major problem. For 7 years now, this has been continuously going on. And we want to be surprised by now by bringing a major development to Brikama. So these road issues, especially an interesting bypass, this starts from Brikama Berawuleng and it passes through Jida up to Tubakuta. I think, in fact, I vividly remember I went with the then minister to look at the area. The design were out and we were promised this is going to be constructed. And up till today, they aren't. And these are issues that we have to factor. From there also, I want to talk about the issue of relocation of the military range. Though major activities have been stopped, but please, the place is still occupied by the military and is creating a lot of problems. And I still want to urge the government to fast track the issue of relocation. And by doing so, if it can be done in this fiscal year, we are really going to appreciate that. Honorable Speaker, I also want to talk about the issue of the current exercise, the road expansion to make it motorable and visible. I think this is a very important activity which every citizen of this country would really appreciate. But in some instances and some areas, the manner in which it is done is going in an extreme, is going out of hand, and we have to look at it. How do we resolve this problem? Especially when you come to Brikama. There are areas that are completely offshore areas. But these people goes in, and you can imagine the amount of destruction that are done in these areas. And I know no amount of expansion can make those areas to be motorable. And these are areas whereby innocent people, ordinary people of this country, use those areas to earn their daily survival. But if you go up to a certain extent, only in the name of road expansion, I think destroying people means of survival could be very serious. And we have to look at these things. Sometimes you may have a good intention, but the people that are implementing these things can be extremists, and we have to look at that one. How do we
adequately work on this issue and make sure that these are resolved. And from there also, I would look at the stale mail, particularly Belgaum Area Council and the government. People are there going for the third month, they are not paid. And as a government, I think the local government and central government are two sides of the same coin, completely inseparable. And I think this stale mail should not make people suffer going for months without their salaries. The government needs immediate attention to make sure that this is resolved. I think I will definitely appeal to the government to look at it, how do we resolve these people, not to punish people for the sake of punishment. Honorable Speaker, going forward, I will also want to look at the just concluded budget that has been passed. There is a lot of pressure point, and I'm very much worried about the realistic nature of this budget, particularly the tax revenue component that has been jumped by $6 billion. We want if the finance minister can make an explanation. What are the indicators that this is going to be attainable? So we need to know those things. Because one thing we fail to understand, the bilateral is done based on these figures that form an integral component of the budgets. The ceilings were made based on this. The bilateral is done based on this. MDAs budget line were approved based on this. So if they are not realistic, how do you expect them to implement? And I'm really very much worried, especially the timing, the disbursement aspect on monthly basis. Ministries also have their plan. Sometimes they have their own activity plan from January to December. What do they want to do? This is so in January, I need about 1 million or 2 million to implement a specific project. You go to the Ministry of Finance, they're only giving you 80,000. And these are problems. And they really affect the MDAs in terms of implementation to achieve the desired development they intend to bring to the people. So we have to work on this and look at it, because these are very serious issues. Budget bilateral is done in this dimension, and we have to look at it. How do we make sure that they are realistic and they are attainable? And the other issue, I need an explanation. 2023 fiscal year, if you look at the PE, the personal emolument, it's about 6.10 billion. But this has been increased in 2024 by 1.34 billion. It's 7.43 billion. This is very, very serious. And we want to know, how many people are we going to employ? How many people are going to benefit? About 1.34 billion. This is a huge amount. We need an explanation to this. If the PE has been increased by this amount, we have to know how many Gambian are we going to recruit to be part of the workforce in order to get these benefits. So these are issues, because there is no significant adjustment when it comes to the issue of emolument. But how are we able to make this increment? So we need these very important explanations. And Honorable Speaker, I definitely know very well ministers are very important in a country, and that is why they are appointed as #1 policy advisor to the president. We have some issues when it comes to the issue of agriculture. There are a lot of projects. Even if you come to the bilateral, the finance ministry don't even take the agricultural subsector seriously because of these projects. I want to inquire who is responsible for designing this project that we bring to the Gambian people that are implemented outside the mainstream agriculture. And interestingly, monitored by the CPCU. And this is where we have a problem, where agri staffs will go in for secondment to those projects. And you are very much worried about the designing of this project, where the project directors can be paid more than the permanent secretaries, can be paid even more than the ministers sometimes. So these are issues. How do we make sure that we advise the president, both the finance and the agri minister? I want to challenge you people. How much can you talk to the president to make sure that you sit at your cabinet level and bring this thing back to the main agriculture? So we have to look at who is responsible in designing. Because if it is not us, why are we going in for this? Because remember, these projects are what is contained are loans and grants for the Gambian people. Whether we like it or not, even if they are concessional, we are going to pay them. But the impact should be seen. And if we want this country to grow as expected, we have to be very serious with the agricultural production. This is something that we need to look at it. Whereby you look at it, only the development component for the 2023 that is coming from JLF component is only $62 million. So we expect the projects to take care, and the control over the project has a problem. So this is where I want to challenge both the two ministers to engage and make sure this is resolved going forward. And finally, Honorable Speaker, I just want to remind ourselves, even though we are very much worried about the issue of the below the line item, the budget deficits. Primarily, that is going to be financed through domestic borrowing by 3.20-something billion, 3.2 billion plus. And these are issues that we have to completely desist from. Because this is what is disturbing the citizenry. Like here, as a private citizen, you want to go to this commercial bank to take loan. The interest rates are there. Not only that, they demand collateral, title deals of your compounds. What investment are we going to do? This is what is killing the private sector. But the only player in the economy right now is the government. How do we bring our private sector to life so that everything can work in tandem as expected? But if you go there, the interest rate is there, the collateral is there, the amount of business you are going to do, how much are you going to maximize as profit? Pay the bank and get your profit and work on your livelihood. This is almost impossible. So we have to look at it. The issue of domestic borrowing is a problem. This bank sits in their comfort zone at the end of 6 months, at the end of 1 year. They get their millions without doing nothing. So these are issues. So these are things that we have to look at it. Next time, as a parliament, since we agree, we have to look at this deficit issue so that we can put the country on a firm footing and grow our economy instead of struggling to maintain the economy, which is almost impossible. So these are issues. So, Honorable Speaker, I think I have to stop and allow others to come in. On that note, I thank you, and I take to...
Thank Allah for giving me the strength and my health again to be back in this parliament. Every adjournment debate is a major event for every parliament to renew our commitment to our electorates and our undertakings that we have made to this nation. Honorable Speaker, on today's adjournment debate, it's equally an important event for us. I'm going to quickly start my intervention with Ministry of Youth and Sport. Honorable Speaker, numerous times here in this parliament, we question the issue of construction of mini stadiums across the country. Kafuta Mini Stadium 2 years ago. And each of these projects that I'm just mentioning are less than a year project duration. Kafuta Mini Stadium, Brikama Mini Stadium, Janjambure Mini Stadium, Kien Julafar Mini Stadium. After more than 2 years, these projects are yet to be handed over. Honorable Speaker, public resources must be spent wisely. Contractors must respect the contract durations, and ministries must be held accountable for the funds that are given to them to execute. In fact, this is why at some point we ask them questions for them to give us answers. But most of the time what happens is questions and the answers, you have a gap between them. They cannot give you anything sufficient. These mini stadiums, each of them were launched in 2020, and still each of them are yet to be handed over. more than $7 million is spent for the construction of each of them. Still, each of them are yet to be handed over. What is wrong with us? To terminate contracts and give it to the other one, it's not enough. There are sufficient laws to sanction people and put them to task for failing the responsibilities they owe to this nation. But this is not happening. Honorable Speaker, for the same Minister of Youth and Sports, from the budget speech that was brought by the Minister of Finance, $50,000, only $50,000 was given to 32 youths and young women entrepreneurs for youth and women empowerment, for youth empowerment. When I talk about this, I could remember during Minister of Finance's response, and he told me, there are so many areas where youths are factored when it comes to education, when it comes to transportation, when it comes to that. But you still give women enterprise farm. Women get to the health centers. Women use road infrastructures. Women use every facility, but you empower them by giving them a specific allocation because they are vulnerable. But youth are also, more than 50% of our population are given only 1.6 million for their empowerment. It is unacceptable. I said it and I will say it in numerous times. Look, young people, let us not lose hope to look at situations when it comes to politics and other things to say, young people are betraying us. No! The UN standard for young people is 35 and below. They are all old, 40 and above. You can see them flipping everywhere. They are old. 35 and below, that's the young people. Honorable Speaker, that is not acceptable. They must allocate a good resources to the young people so that the future of this country can be bright. Honorable Speaker, as we speak, more than 1,000 young people were drowned in the Mediterranean who are from households in this country. Almost 1,000 of young people in this country are yet to be accounted for, where they are found as we speak in this country. We must talk about this. What is the solution to this? We must discuss. And of course, the Minister of Youth and Sports must talk to us. If he is not a young people, let us know. If he is not young, we want to know. Because he is not talking to us as young people. And we believe a young people should be able to talk to us and dialogue with us. This must be communicated to us. Talk to the young people. Let's have a sensitization. All these things that we're talking about are part of the sustainable development goals. Each of these thematic areas have approaches. Sensitizations are they going on? What is the needy doing? To go and give funds to the returnees when they come back. What do we do before they go? And funds are not sufficient to give to them. Something must be done. And the affairs of the youth must be taken seriously. How many people are venturing into sports? How many football teams do we have in this country? Tell me, count 100 people, 100 of them that build mansions, that employ people from that sport. Tell me 100 of them. I can tell you there are young youth entrepreneurs in this country who are employing more than 100 people, are different from themselves. A lot of them. Let's venture into entrepreneurship and empower them. We put in a lot of money into sports. What do we gain out of it? Other than Gambia has gone for AFCON. For the first time, we've gone for AFCON, other than the name.
And sports is important, brother.
Honorable Speaker, these are all important things, but we must not do them to the compromise of the other one. Honorable Speaker, to the Ministry of Fisheries. Honorable Speaker, I've done my research very well. And I've been reliably informed that Minister of Fisheries is about to procure 20 boats, 20 fishing boats. These 20 fishing boats that the ministry is about to procure, the process is going on. tell us the cost of each boat. We need the cost of each boat. Can the Honorable Ministry, through the Honorable Minister, provide this August Assembly with the status of the past boats that were bought for various fish landing sites? Tell us the communities which were the beneficiaries of these fishings, of these boats. Let them please also tell this August body the criterions that were used for the various communities to benefit from this project. Was these boats given on free or on loan basis so that the recovery can plow back to other communities who have not benefited for the first time? We want to know whether if the ministry has also assessed the benefits of these boats and to tell us the status of these boats as they are right now. In the regard of this list that I am requesting for the benefit of this August body, the benefits as well as the beneficiaries communities, so that this August body, during our oversight, can also do our work very well, can assess the benefits of this serious endeavor that our country have undertaken. Honorable Speaker, it is important for this Honorable Assembly to be shared with this August body the specification of procurement of the first boats, the 20 boats whose procurements are in progress. Honorable Speaker, we appropriated 10 million Gambian dollars in 2022 for drilling of boreholes across the country. Still, this is not done. What's going on? It's not done. As at the last quarter of 2023, only 3.6 million is what has been disbursed from Minister of Finance, from a reliable source. Only fine data, only 3.6 million has been disbursed from Minister of Finance. Why so? This must be told to this organization, because we appropriate things for our people. We cannot see our people 58 years after independence are still drinking on open wells or local pumps. It's unacceptable. We must graduate from that. We should be crying of higher education and other things. But we must graduate from our people using local pumps and open wells. Drink. It's not acceptable. The ministry must tell us how these funds were spent and why they were not disposed, and the little that was disposed, where are the communities they are going into, and what is the status of the implementation and the contract of all these projects that you have awarded to various contractors. Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, point of order. Honorable Majority Leader, I don't know, this is the first time we had this gram book. He's disturbing everybody here. But permissible 32.1, 32 subsection 1. No member except the speaker shall interrupt another member while speaking. And that's what exactly he's doing.
That is a correct standing order, but I've not seen him doing that.
No. In fact,
I have not seen it.
Honorable Speaker, you are not paying attention. In fact, he hissed and he has to withdraw that sound.
Sit down.
No, you need
Honorable member, please sit down. Please. Honorable, please. Honorable, I do hear a lot of murmurs amongst you. I see some of you even talking to others. I'm seeing all that. But
presently, His Excellency publicly informed the public about the 50 million fisheries, 50 million USD that the fisheries sector has for him, for the fisheries development. Tell us the source of this fund and who are the donors. The 80 million Gambian dollars fisheries development fund. Tell us how it has been spent, how it has been disposed, and we want an urgent audit on the fisheries development fund and the funds that is appropriate for fisheries sector and that of the Ministry of Youth and Sports, because our nation must use our resources wisely. Honorable Speaker, this country, we owe a lot to ourselves, particularly to us as young people. So we will speak and speak loudly. Honorable Speaker, the bills that are brought by members of parliament in this parliament, that is a credit for our parliament. Anything that has been brought by the executive, that is for us to help them to accomplish the government policies and programs. But we have a task as a parliament looking at our 3 core mandates: legislation, oversight, and representation. And in fulfilling our legislative responsibilities, it is better for parliamentarians to bring private member bills. But remember, there is a limit beyond which we cannot go. That is to bring a bill that will incur cost on government. But if we bring a bill that is progressive, members of parliament, let's park politics. Let's talk to each other for progress of this country and pass bills that is going to favor this country. When we talk about the issues of nomination, I want to talk about it. I was not fortunate to be here. I was in my sick bed in the hospital when I was watching the session. It's fine for members to debate, and it's parliamentary for members to vote where they want to vote. That is parliamentary democracy. But when we talk about nomination, from all the political parties and from the executive, which nomination is done consultatively with the interest groups? Tell me, with the interest groups. Tell me and give me one correspondent that goes to National Youth Council to tell them, His Excellency wants to nominate a youth. Give us a nominee. Give me one correspondent. Give me one correspondent from Bikamare Council, from KMC, and from West Coast, from anywhere, I'm Banjul. That correspondent goes for the nomination of the youth to National Youth Council. Tell me one. To the disabled, tell me one. Never has it been done. So please, when that is, only those interest groups, when they are nominated in that manner, they will be represented in the best manner. But when that comes to this house, but you can also nominate people, they go and sit somewhere, it's like zero. You are somewhere, but you are not counted. Honorable members of parliament, let's support each other for the progress of this country. Let's park away our political cards. Sometimes we debate and politics comes in it. But on a more serious note, my appearance in parliament today is to tell you this information that I've done sufficient research on. And to tell you this, because that's the truth, whether you like it or not. Let's support each other for the progress of this country. Let's help members to pass their bills if it is progressive. If they have lacunas, let's try to adjust them. We move on. Honorable Speaker, lastly, I want to definitely thank the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure. But I will implore you to definitely fast the Jammeh'S Road construction, and so that we can access the only major Jammeh'S Health Center.
Come on, listen. Okay, no.
Okay. You see, your mic doesn't want you to talk again.
I just, please. For the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, the Jammeh'S Road construction that was undergoing, and this is a big concern for us because the major government health center we have in the constituents is Karandaba Health Center. And Karandaba Health Center has more than 7 satellite communities who are all depending on that health center, and Karandaba Upper Senior Secondary School. So it's important for us to have an access to this most important infrastructure. And also the electricity expansion has come and stopped at Kenaba, and we are still employed. And we've given the list of names of communities that's supposed to be electrified as far as the constituency is concerned. So we are employing the Minister of Energy to definitely fasten, because Karandaba Health Center cannot use so many facilities, so many machines in the health center because they don't have an energy. So it is important to know that.
Honorable
Speaker, with that, thank you very much.
And also to thank the chief and the Alcalde of Bajagar, and my executive members for coming and witnessing this occasion. Even said we are not in the same political party. But then what combines us is the constituency. What unites us is Foni Bintang Karanai. And Foni Bintang Karanai is far more greater than all of us. The idea of politics dividing people is not a good idea. Politics, difference of ideas, does not mean enmity. And in no way will it mean enmity. So Gambia have a lesson to learn. And we need to learn. Only in terms of unity that we can achieve whatever we yearn for. Politics does not mean enmity. We can differ in politics and yet come together in terms of national development. For if we better the nation, we better it for ourselves. For if we better our constituency, Foni Bintang Karanai, we better it for ourselves. Today, that is something that the nation needs. That is something that we should all advocate for. Unity is key and central. You belonging to a different political party does not mean you are an enemy. But you also should not treat your fellow human being as an enemy. In national development, we all unite and develop our nation. Patriotism and nationalism is key in development. And we most of the time wonder the reason as to why we are not progressing. We see each other as enemies because we do not belong to the same political parties. We are not enemies. For instance, it's just an example. You say this color is white, I say no, this color is black. It's your opinion. Difference of opinion does not mean enmity. The only thing that we can do to one another is to enlighten one another and also sensitize one another. It does not even necessarily mean you should force the individual to join your political party. No. And we should have concern for one another. In that we can develop. But if this one is trying to develop the country and this one is trying to bring it down, it will not work as a nation. So on that vein, we unite. In the development of the Gambia, we unite. In the development of Foni Bintang Karanai, we unite. Not for me to go to NPP or for him to come to us. No, that is not the idea. But then we have a tax, a responsibility to serve our people. In so doing, we unite. I thank you. Honorable Speaker, to the Ministry of Agriculture, the root project has intervened in Foni Bintang Karanai. And they extended to Bajagar, Batabut, Jibonek, Sibanor, Batendeng, Kajara, and Kandung. And Alhamdulillah, this year, they definitely have a bumper harvest. And it is truly a great thing. The Agriculture Committee went around the country to check the root intervention. But one of the best places we saw is Kandung in my constituency. So my people are committed to a work. My people are committed towards agriculture. And they have a nation to build. And they know that the government cannot do it all. And the only way we can develop our country is through agriculture. And this is what the former president left us with, and this is what we are standing by. So, for Foni Bintang Karanai, I want the Ministry of Agriculture to intervene. They have the Farmers Association at whatsoever it takes. And I want the Farmers Association also to be empowered and more recognized so that we can attain food self-sufficiency as we yearn for. Coming down to the Ministry of Energy. For the Ministry of Energy, we are waiting and anxiously waiting for the electrification of our constituency. Anxiously waiting, I said. Day in, day out. We are hoping and we believe that they should try and fast track this thing. For the villages, the rural electrification, people are waiting in the country. Education. I told the people many times that you can never develop a country in the absence of education. And we wonder many times how the West developed, how the Arabian Peninsula developed. They developed simply because they are highly educated. How much are we putting into education in the country? The Ministry of Higher Education is seriously underfunded in the last budget. What can we do to remedy those situations? Because what we are charging at the university is expensive to the Gambian. We don't expect to add anything. we only rely on subvention to empower the Ministry of Basic and Higher Education, both the Basic and the Ministry of Higher Education. That is of utmost importance. Coming down to migration, especially illegal migration among our youths, just as the member of Kiang West clearly stated, the only thing that a country can be proud of is the human resource that you have. Now, in our very eye, in our generation, during our time, as we are members of the National Assembly, we are witnessing this. Young youth are perishing in the Mediterranean Sea. This is sad to say, and this is sad to witness. But what is the root cause of this? One may say unemployment. Yes, it may be another factor, but not only unemployment. The other reason as to why they are migrating or leaving the Gambia is because of the salaries. We have other police officers that are leaving. We have teachers that are leaving, wanting to embark on. It's a shame for the country, for your teachers to leave, even after being employed, but for them to leave your country because of they are badly paid. For your police officers to leave because they are badly paid. For other sectors to leave because they are not properly paid. It's a shame for us. But how can we generate income? How? It's a question that remains in our head, and this question we should answer. How can we better the salaries? We know generally the salaries of the country is bad. Salaries are very, very bad. But how do we remedy the situation? The only way we can develop our country is through agriculture, and no magic. We cannot rely on loan and grant. It's impossible. Call as much as you want. You know the West, they know how to handle you. Or handle us. I can say us. Because they want to give us loan to attract us, to seal us. Look at China. What collaboration are we having with China? What is uniting us? It is their interest. When we were in China, someone said, we should remember that we are here as diplomats and our interest. I told them, no, and their interest. Because they are paying you to go. They are doing whatever for their interest. They know what they want. And they understand how to pin us down. This loan will never help us. Let us try to desist from this loan. And let us encourage the people in any form that we can for us to go back to the land, eating what we grow and growing what we eat. What are we having in the international market? What is Gambia presenting to the international market? Even vegetables, we have to import them from Senegal. That is not sustainable, and this will not bring us the development that we want. The issue of Brikama Area Council, I think I am running against time. The issue of Brikama Area Council. We have seen Brikama Area Council, and they have raised a concern of corruption in the administrative setup. This is important for the government to note, and for the government to be neutral when they are investigating on these matters. In terms of corruption, we should try and eliminate it at all costs, in any form, even if you are related to the party, and even if you are in the same political party. Try to eliminate that. And I am convinced that we should give them immunity, because arresting the entire councillors, I think it should not be accepted. These are elected people, and they deserve certain respect. This is something. And if they raise a concern, passing resolution, those resolutions, the Ministry of Local Government and Land should look into it critically. The depth of the country, I can remember the depth of the country when in 2017, we were reliably informed through investigation that the depth of the country was at 24 billion. Today, the depth of the country is 102 billion. Now, from 2017 to date, what you took as loan is 78 billion. How are you going to pay this within a period of 7 or 8 years? This is a worrisome situation, and this we should try and desist from. This parliament should not only be a parliament that endorses loan and loan, constant loan. We should be thinking about these issues. We know one may say no country can go without loan. Yes, we agree. But you cannot lay all your plans, all your strategies on loan. No, it is wrong. You should have plans and strategies to generate funds for the nation. not only to depend on loan, because those loans, how are you going to pay them tomorrow when it comes? I believe they are just taking loan because they know that their lifespan is short and they don't care about the next government to come. Honorable Speaker, my constituency have entrusted me. And one thing very interesting, that I grew up in that constituency. They have evaluated my character. And they have chosen me, they elected me for me to represent them. And in it, I am here to stand to fight against corruption, to fight against nepotism, to fight against the abnormal circumstance. And here we stand. And in this country, we are going to liberate it. No matter of intimidation can bring us down, and no matter of intimidation can save us. We stand to defend the country, and we don't even care who appreciates it and who don't. Honorable Speaker, on that note, I thank you so very much.
For Gimara.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, honorable members of the National Assembly, ministries and department agencies that are present, the media, National Assembly staffs, Office of the Clerk, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable member, I thank you so much for this opportunity today, as we are to wrap up the fourth ordinary session today of this assembly. Honorable Speaker, the reason why some of us voted against the 8 minutes is because we have issues that we want to address. And these issues, we cannot address them even in 30 minutes. So it's rather unfortunate we are having only 15 minutes. Honorable Speaker, I just want to address only one thing. Only one thing. I would not be fair as a parliamentarian today to talk to the government, talk to the ministries or the agencies without talking to the National Assembly. Honorable Speaker, National Assembly, as we all know, is the highest authority in this country. Honorable Speaker, as our core functions dictates, we legislate, we perform oversight functions, and we represent our people, as we are doing today. But how do we do this if we are disunited? How do we attain this? Sorry to say this, if we are not serious about what we are doing. You cannot be serious if you don't want to live by an example or lead by an example. Honorable Speaker, as I was on top of my head, as I was putting something together, I said leading by an example is a leadership style where you model a behavior that you want to see in others. It could be your team members, it could be your co-workers, but as far as you are leading people, you have to model something that you want to see on them. So when you lead by an example, you don't just push the team members towards an excellence, but rather you actively demonstrate that excellence. Honorable Speaker, if you lead by an example, you can inspire the people around you. As National Assembly members, we should be inspiring the ministers, the directors, the PSs that are around us. We work together hand in glove. We give them tasks for them to perform. How do we think they can take us serious if we as National Assembly members are not serious? I think this is something that we need to change. Honorable Speaker, leading by an example can build trust between you and the others. As I said, the executive are only implementing officers, from the chief executive down to the last person. We give them what the Gambian people ask us to give them, that is the laws. We appropriate funds. They initiate programs and projects. We go out and see how these projects are ongoing, if they are affecting or impacting the lives of our people. But Honorable Speaker, you'll be disappointed. National Assembly, we are dictated by our standing orders that our sitting starts at 10 o'clock. But Honorable Speaker, I cannot remember coming to this National Assembly, starting our session at 10 o'clock. It's always after 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, or 1 o'clock, while ministers are sitting waiting for us. Honorable Speaker, if you go to our WhatsApp group, National Assembly WhatsApp group, the 6th legislature, our individual groups, caucus groups, the famous message that you will find there is, dear honorable members, we kindly appeal for you to proceed to the chambers as we are to start business. Do we need them to beg us to come to National Assembly? We have everything. We have our vehicles. We have our allowances. We have everything. But while people are seated, others are outside. You see, look at the seats. I am addressing the National Assembly, not a single party. So, Honorable Speaker, we need to be very serious. As the famous saying goes, he who claims equity must come with a clean hand. You want to hold a minister to account, please hold yourself to account. You want to hold the president to account, please come to National Assembly on time. Deal with issues that affect the lives and livelihood of the people, not issues that will divide us. Honorable Speaker, they are just reminding me. We have members here who will just take the podium, mess up everything, and then go home, leave us here, while we are here making quorum. Honorable Speaker, I want to conclude by where my brother stops. That is Operation Widen the Roads. This is a very good initiative. As environmentalists, we want to see our country free of air pollution. We want to see our country being clean and everybody, live in a life, a better life, in a safe life. We see the traffic congestion before the operation starts. We applaud the government and the initiators. But one thing we want to address, we want the implementers to know whoever lives on the soil of the Gambia is your brother and sister. The approach is very important. We see in videos and pictures where police officers that will just go and destroy whatever they found on the road. We want to talk to the authorities that give them the mandate or the order. When you go out there, make sure you don't go with authority, but go with an order. This order should be, go negotiate with the people, sensitize them, let them know where they are occupying is illegal, and let them move peacefully. But not to go with the impression that we are going to deal with them because they refuse to abide by the laws. Don't deal with your brother. He's your brother, your sister, your mother, your sister, your aunties. We can get them out from wherever we want to get them out without beating them. We don't need to handcuff anybody. Honorable Speaker. This is something that I want the authority to understand, especially those boys that you send outside, giving them orders. When giving orders, please, the command, the highest command, mind your language. Because it is what you inculcate in them, that's they're going to portray outside. If you preach peace, they are going to be peaceful. But if you ask them to go and deal with people, they will deal with them mercilessly, and this is something that is we don't have to tolerate. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you so much, and all the members that since we start this session have been sitting all day and night to see to it that we address issues that affect our country, and also want to appeal to members, honorable members. Let us be very serious if we want to be taken serious. If you want somebody to respect you, respect yourself. This house has to be respected, but it is what we do here. I want to appeal to the board members, board leaders, majority and the minority, including your chief whips, to buckle up. We are guided by rules. National Assembly, we have our policies. Let us start applying our policies and rules. On that note, I thank you so much.
Respect is earned. These are concerns of the administration. We were in consultation with the various leaders. Thank God, honorable members themselves realize it and that they are putting it on the floor. You have now oiled our wheels for us to probably take the bull by the horn. Thank you, Honorable Member for Jimara. I now invite the Honorable Member for Sani Mentoring.
Without thanking other honorable members within this assembly today. I will call them honorable members because what they have done today. Those are the invited guests who are seated there. These people have been here since in the morning, patiently waiting for honorable members to be here at least to start session. Honorable members, I think I will thank them for that. Secondly, honorable members, I will equally thank both sides of the assembly for conducting our functions effectively, which is attending to the National Assembly sessions for 2023 entirely. Honorable members, from there I will go, Honorable Speaker, from there I'll go straight to the point. With the issue regarding my constituency, first, which is Burfoot Karenti. Karenti is an area which is inherited by the elders of the community of Burfoot, where there is an eco lodge, and this is the place where you have between Burfoot and Sukuta. Sorry, Burfoot and Tanje rather. Burfoot and Tanje, there is a forest called Karenti. This is an area where there is illegal sand mining occurred by some other people, I know of no reason, and I want the line ministry to look into this properly, and then with immediate effect, if this can be stopped, to regularize the unlawful sand mining that they are doing within the constituency of Sani Mentoring. It is only creating erosions. Erosion in a way, there is an area where sand mining has massively done, and there was a road connectivity within the highway and a particular village. No one is having access to that road anymore. And when it comes to rainy season, it affects the people of that community as well. So I would like the line ministry to look into this properly, do the necessary follow-up, and then make sure that this stops immediately. Having said that, Honorable Speaker, I have heard from the Honorable Minister of Agriculture that there were 50 tractors that were deployed across the country for agricultural purposes. And these 50 tractors were accordingly distributed to regions. And I would like to know how many tractors were deployed to West Coast in particular. Honorable Speaker, with regards to the Minister of Finance, there was a time in the history of the Gambia that there was supposed to be a volleyball African championship, and there was a delay in funding. Honorable Speaker, which led the Gambia not to participate in that championship. Honorable Speaker, this had affected the youths of this nation. And I think these are some of the things that they have to help themselves with regards to health-wise, with regards to game activities, and a lot more. Honorable Speaker, I wouldn't expect such delay to happen to youths in this country. They have right to play, they have right to eat, and equally they have right to learn. So right to play, Honorable Speaker, if there is delayance in that, I don't think we are doing justice to the citizens of this country, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, with regards to nutrition, nutrition is part of our daily life. Nutrition is part of our health. Honorable Speaker, if nutrition is part of it, and we can find nutrition in every sector, agric with nutrition, health with nutrition, etc., I expect the government of the day or the government of this country to at least do a contribution with regards to the empowerment of that nutrition in our body, in our health system, that will support the people of this country health-wise. Honorable Speaker, if the support of nutrition is 100% donor-driven, I don't think, Honorable Speaker, this is helping the people of the country. Honorable Speaker, the issue of vitamin A also contributes to nutrition. The issuance of vitamin A also contributes to our health. But when there is lack of vitamin A in our system, which might lead us to a very important topic that we always raise in this parliament, which is the maternal mortality. And a woman or a pregnant woman cannot achieve delivery or in labor without having that vitamin A in her system. Honorable Speaker, I am not saying this is 100% contributing to the maternal mortality in this country, but can also be a contributing factor to the maternal mortality to women of this country. Honorable Speaker, I would expect the government to at least do a quarter in contribution to the nutrition in the Gambia. Honorable Speaker, having said that, I will move on to local government, the local government ministry. There is no small community within Sanimentering constituency. Small in a sense that when you think of the population and the voters registration size within Sanimentering, there is a community called Tintinto. And Tintinto, they have no markets. Tintinto deserve to have a quality market that they can have access to the products that they might need to sustain their daily living. I will urge to the line ministry to provide a quality market for Tintinto or for the people of Tintinto, at least to have their daily living sustained. Honorable Speaker, and I will say again, Honorable Speaker, operations to clear the road. Operations to clear the road, 1 or 2 members have already spoken about, but it is not also bad to elaborate or to add on. Honorable Speaker, it is of importance for a country to clear its road to be motorable. This is very important. But then, after clearing your road to be motorable, at least the people whom you move from that road should be given a better place, at least to sustain their daily living. These are vendors who sell their products. These are women who do gardening, at least for 1 month, after harvesting their lettuce or harvesting their garden eggs or harvesting whatever products they might harvested from their gardens. Do sit by roadsides, at least to sustain their daily living. It is of very importance, as I said, that we clear our roads for motorable, but then it is equally important to have a better place for those women who are vulnerable, for those youths who are vulnerable, at least for those youths, to encourage them, the youths who have encountered the backway syndrome, and get encouraged when they say that, let me go back to my country and see how best I can sustain my living. If those youths who are trying to sustain their living have been driven from the roadside, from the businesses, the little businesses that they are trying to empower themselves, and yet they are not given any small space rather than roaming in street, trying to sell the materials or the products that they are trying to live, to better their living. Honorable Speaker, I don't think this is encouraging. Let us encourage the youths of this country in order to discourage them from the backway syndrome, in order to encourage them by empowering their families, in order to encourage the women who are working tirelessly to support their husbands at home. I don't think this is fair to the women of this country. I don't think this is fair to the youth of this country. Let us empower our people instead of crying them. Honorable Speaker, having talked about that, the Women Federation market within Sanimentering constituency, in particular Sukuta. Honorable Speaker, the people whom that site has been taken were not compensated. I don't think this is of help to the citizens of this country. We cannot just take lands as a government. We cannot just take places from our own people and we leave them homeless. We cannot take lands from our own people, we leave them cry. We cannot take lands from our people whereby the younger ones, the younger ones will not even have a space or a home to stay. I don't think this is fair also to the citizens of this country. A place like the Women Federation Market, we all know how huge that place is. And we expect that the landlord to be compensated before using that space. Honorable Speaker, these are some of the points that I've raised regarding this space. Honorable Speaker, the catering ICT. ICT, we all believe, is in catering or was in catering. There was a portion which was left after the first regime had taken some portion which ITC was established. But the little portion that was left, which should have been given back to the community of catering, has never been given back. And again, it is not fair to the citizens of this country. Honorable Speaker, I will urge the line ministry to either compensate or give back the little portion that was left for the people of catering to be given back to the community of catering for a better use. Honorable Speaker, the Sukuta Serekunda road connectivity. Sukuta Serekunda road connectivity is in a very bad condition, and this needs reconstruction. I will definitely urge the line ministry to look into this properly so that the road can be motorable, at least people to be having access to their daily businesses. Of course we are, but then there is delayance in some sectors with regards to taxi drivers, with regards to other human beings who will be traveling or walking in street, at least to sustain their daily living as well. Honorable Speaker, that reminds me to Jabang Sukuta traffic light. Jabang Sukuta traffic light is a very important route. It's a very important route to the citizens of this country entirely, because it's a center where most people will travel through. Some will use that road to Jabang, some will use it to Jambanjeli, and some will even use it further to Brikama, Gunjur, Olundum, and some other places. That center where you have the roundabout is at a very dangerous point. Accidents happen there daily, or at most. And I will suggest, and I will urge the line ministry to also look into that, to make sure that they have reflection on the roundabout for the betterment of the people who use that end. Because at night, when it is dark sometimes, people will not see the roundabout easily, and there might be accidents that occur there in most cases, especially at night. So I will urge the line ministry to look into that and then see a best way that that place can be improved in order to reduce accidents that might occur every day. On that note, Honorable Speaker, I beg to leave. Thank you.
Made this contribution by urging this noble house to take our cause as a serious cause. I think, as you also alluded, the statement is an energizer, not only to the members, but to the authority as well. And as the saying goes, whom much is given, much is expected from. Honorable Speaker, this parliament is a parliament that the Gambian people have hope in. And in the morning, what we have seen, I think all of us should stand firm. And I thank people who voted for the time to be 15 minutes. This is a very simple equation. If you cannot talk more than 10 minutes, talk for 5 minutes, sit down. Members have issues in their constituencies. This country, we have issues, in our constituencies, in our corners, everywhere, in our institutions. So I might have an issue to talk. I cannot talk within 8 minutes. So you are denying my democratic right. Let democracy should start here and go to the communities. But if members are trying to come up with motion every time, adjournment without no debate, if you are speechless or you don't have any issues to talk about, please reserve yourself. Allow us who have issues to talk, and they talk about it. This is parliament. Parliament is about talking. If anybody is tired, please, you have an opportunity. Take permission from Speaker. Go and relax. We do the work. Thank you. Honorable Speaker, coming to the issues of my constituency, the road construction from Bani to Salikini is in high gear. The minister responded that the percentage is 60%, which I want to applaud the ministry, NRA, and the contractor for the first job that they are doing. But these days, we have been seeing the stop of the work. The work is not in progress. I don't know the reason. Maybe the contractor can explain. So I want the minister to make sure that follow-up is done, because he said the road will be commissioned by February. And this road is a long-awaited road that the people of Badibu Central needs most, because the road has been known as the Balamba or the Powdery Road for centuries now. So we believe with all our efforts, the road can be completed and commissioned. Honorable Speaker, coming to ferry crossing in North Bank region. Honorable Speaker, you hail from North Bank region, and you know how our people are suffering in terms of crossing. And I think it's right for us to take action and prevent future casualties. We heard about Baton de Jola. We heard about Titanic. Sometimes our people will sleep in the sea with the ferry. Sometimes they will stay for hours, men and women, children, in the ferry, all people. They cannot have even water to drink. So disaster is looming. And it's high time the government to put eye on those ferries and see how can we solve the problem at Banyul Bara crossing point. Honorable Speaker, sometimes you will think that whether the ferry is about to go to James Island. And when there is a rough tide, the ferry will be controlled by the tide. So this is very serious. I witness it. I'm a frequent traveler. I cross almost every week. I see how my people suffer. Last week, I asked them to take me out of the ferry. But by then, there were trucks behind me. I cannot. So I just said, we are at risk. We stood there for 2 to 3 hours. The ferry cannot move. And I could remember, in 2018, a lot of funds were given to that institution to make sure that they work on the landing side. What is happening to our institutions, Honorable Speaker? Honorable Speaker, I think this time you need to intervene. You also use your car to save your people. If not, the disaster will not be only limited to Badibu, but the Nyomi also will be affected as well. Because you know how many of them cross all over to come and do their work here. Honorable Speaker, we have to also thank agriculture for giving us small ruminant project in the community of Jammeh'S and Sampakumbaya. These communities, there is a construction of animal shed, and feedstuffs were also given in a form of a fodder, which is going to help animal nutrition, and is going to also motivate people to be embarking on animal rearing as a form of farming. Honorable Speaker, climate change. I expect the Vice President or any one of his representatives here to inform the August gathering. What did they learn from the famous COP28? What is our take as a country? Honorable Speaker, climate change is real. We need no expert to tell us that climate change is happening in our society. We have seen droughts all over. We have seen change of weather. We have seen extinct of certain species in this country that you can tell me when you were young in Alberta, some of these animals that you can just go outside, you see them, they are no more seen in our communities. Even the tree species, they are not seen. What is happening to us? So something is happening, we need to prepare for the future. And I think going to COP28 as a country, Gambians need to be informed. What holistic approach are we going to take? Because we are not the greatest emitters, but we are the greatest sufferers. We are feeling the pinch. Do you understand? So what do we need to do? Is it that the European countries or the developed countries are calling developing countries to put money to combat climate change? If that is it, it's unrealistic and we cannot do that. But we must have a plan to save our own country. What is our plan as a country towards combating climate change? Climate change is real. We have low agricultural productivity. People are sick. You cannot understand the type of sicknesses that are happening now, whether skin rashes or whatsoever. It's all, caused by what? Depletion of the ozone layer. So actions need to be taken. We cannot be only making rhetorics. We cannot be only making new slogans every year. And I was surprised, disappointed, when the minister responded to me that still now, about carbon trading, the government doesn't have a complete, robust scheme about carbon trading. Who knows? We have some people in our communities, in the name of NGOs, are they making funds out of our little forest cover? Sometimes you go to your environment, you see a tablet, they put something, an information said there, mangrove restoration. We need to, the society need to be informed. Let us not take our people for ride. Do you understand? So we need to be very serious and prepare our people that the trees that they are growing in future is not only the fruit that they can harvest, but they can get a market out of it. They need to be assured. They need to be well informed. Honorable Speaker, coming to the councils, the independence of area council is stipulated in section 193 of the Constitution. We need no lawyer to explain this thing for us or to interpret this section for us. The area councils need to be independent and autonomous so that they can be able to do their work effectively and efficiently. We know the executive also have a role to support them in implementation of their policies. But what we are seeing in this country is not welcoming. We have been seeing fight councils against the executive. Enough is enough, Honorable Speaker. The people who are employed at those councils, they are citizens of the country. They have families. What is happening in Brikama right now is uncalled for. These are elected members. They made their decisions. We have the courts. If any decision that is made, let us challenge them to the courts. We have seen where councillors took matters to the court and they won. But why is it that, there are people who are suspected of economic crimes, corruption? They have asked to go and sit down until investigation is done. And these are evident. The commission, in fact, manifested it. Honorable Speaker, we have to be serious. When it comes to political time, let's all go into our little corners and campaign and do our politics. When it's time for work, let's support each other. Let's support each other. The councils, they must have a responsibility to carry. We must hold them to tax. Sometimes we blame the central government. The central government did not do this. They cannot do it. The councils must be responsible to carry out those functions. But you need to give them support. You need to give them support so that they can be able to deliver. Because we have seen that some of the councils, the revenue collection is very low. For example, North Bank region. Because most of their revenue side is now given to the central government. So if we don't support, we don't work together, how do you expect those councils to function? Before they used to provide scholarship, but now if you go there, they cannot. There we talk about collecting garbage. So yes, so what are we thinking? All the countries, if you go to the sub-region, you have been going on study tours. You see how other countries are very clean. They move. Gambia is the only country that is going down. It's sad to say. With a population of 2.2 to 2.3 million, still now we are crying. We cannot manage the little resources. Ambience all over. Honorable Speaker, this is a serious matter, and I want the government of the day, the president, to be very careful with these councils. Much more Brikama. We all celebrate peace. When there is peace, at least we all eat our nadas and our kujas, our super kanjas at our little corners. But when there is chaos in the community, when there is violence, who is at peace? And violence is just like rainfall. It doesn't fall on one roof. Who knows who's going to be a victim? Brikama's issue should be an issue of national concern. Because once people are not getting their salaries, when people are not comfortable at the market, there is chaos here and there, you don't know, it can happen. You have to remember Animal Farm. Nobody thought that the animals will go out against Mr. Jones. I'm not propagating for anything, but I'm making a scenario you need to understand how things come about. When people are suppressed, they can come about at any time. And you can control them. No laws can control them. So before all that happens, let's dialogue and solve matters and move on. Honorable Speaker, coming to the alcalos and the chiefs, fortunately we have one chief in our midst. Their courts need to be supported because they deal with matters. And sometimes what is happening in the chief's courts, sometimes they use their own discretions to make certain rulings on certain matters that they need education, they need support from the judiciary. They need to be empowered. Because sometimes the decision that they make could be challenged. But what we want is we want to solve matters at those levels so that the courts will not be congested with certain issues. But they need support. They need support. They need people to be also guiding them. And the Honorable Speaker, it's so unfortunate. You go to the Chief's Court, all the council members of the chief, most of them, only few courts, Chief's Court, you go, you find a female there. They are all male dominated. Now, what if a woman has a case, and you know that sometimes there are issues they don't want to express it in front of men, or sometimes they see that men suppress them. So I think, time has come for us to include women in the councils. And these area councils must be ready to put it in their budget to make sure that they also get sitting allowance. At least if we cannot have two, but we need one to be part of the safest council, so that decisions that affect women, they can be able to echo it. I think this is another affirmative action that we need as a country to work on it. Honorable Speaker, I have a very few seconds to go, but the University of the Gambia government needs to look at it and make sure that the people of wisdom are invited and work in this country. We have a lot of
deliberations that we have three key functions: representation, legislation, and oversight. And most of the issues raised here are under those domains. I don't know how we can complain to others. People should complain to us. We are to solve this problem. We have our committees. We have our everything in place. We have the necessary legislation and the powers vested. I mean, most of what we are complaining, the ferry is not functional. The money given is not, where is it? Who should answer the question? Assembly members must provide the answers to the people. So let's look inwardly ourselves and see what can be done for the interest of the people we are here to represent. Huh? Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Central Badibu. I now invite the Honorable Member for Ilyasa. Ilyasa.
Thank you. Close a borehole, a powerful borehole for the people of Ali and Keresule. So far, these two villages, so as far as the water problem is concerned, it is now solved. So I thank the Ministry of Water Resources for their intervention. But again, I have a worry. And that my worry is the dog boreholes. And there are three villages in my constituency. That is Nger Angale village, Gerekau, and then also Balengo. These boreholes were dug some years back, and then they promised to fix these boreholes, but up till now, nothing has been done. So far, I'm appealing to the Ministry of Water Resources to make efforts, because these people are in a problem as far as water is concerned, so that these boreholes can be fixed. Honorable Speaker, education. If we reflect our mind, 3 years back, there was a windstorm that affected many schools throughout the country. And these affected schools, the problem are still there. So far, promise has been given to fix these affected schools, but up till now, nothing has been done. And then we are advocating for quality education. Sometimes when I visit some of the schools, affected schools in my constituency, I feel so bad due to the condition of the teachers and the students that I found in those schools. So definitely the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education should do something to fix these problems in these schools, so that the teachers and the students also can find conducive to have learning and teaching and learning conducive for them in the various schools. Again, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Works, so far my constituency, is unfortunate to have this rural road construction We have very important roads in the Upper Badibo. But these roads, definitely, they are still there. Nothing has been done. And I have reported this for several times. So definitely we will need the intervention of the government to consider us as well, as they are considering other consequences. So definitely it will be fitting, definitely for us, for government to consider us as well. Again, I want to support my fellow National Assembly member, that's the member for Jimara, for calling under our fellow National Assembly members to comport ourselves, to be serious. This National Assembly is very important. Let us see ourselves as important people. Let us see ourselves as people who are serving the people of the Gambia. So we should set better examples. If you look at the assembly today, the chamber, it doesn't look nice, definitely. Please, our fellow National Assembly members, let us try by all means and dedicate ourselves to our duty. We comport ourselves, as we should know that we are serving the Gambian people. So let us try and serve them to the best of our ability. So far, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much for giving me this floor.
Who are always here, they are being stigmatized by others who are not here. You know, there are people who are always here, but when you make general statements like this, it goes to knock everybody. So we may have to resort to announcing names. Those who, when we close business, those who were here at 10 o'clock will be registered. And at the close of business, those who are around will be registered and will be publishing this thing out for the electors to hear. Thank you, Honorable Member for Elias. I now invite the Honorable Member for Banjul North. Banjul
came all the way from Sierra Leone and who is currently the legal clerk of the Sierra Leone Parliament, who is Mr. Sow over there. He is my guest. We met when I visited the UK this year, early this year. And I think one of the purposes when we travel outside the country is to network and see how best we can create opportunities for Gambian people to benefit and also other countries to benefit from us. So thank you, Mr. Sow, for coming to the Gambia for the first time to witness the adjournment debate of the Parliament for the year 2023. That is the fourth ordinary session. Honorable Speaker, I think it is high time for us to address the issue of honorable ministers and also permanent secretaries or their technical staff attending adjournment debates in this Parliament. I think it is very important. We cannot be talking to ourselves anymore. We are tired. And this is happening, reoccurring every time. And this needs to stop. If they know that they will be having cabinet meeting, let us also look at our schedule and see how best we can work with them. Because whatever I am to say right now can only be addressed by the ministries and through the ministers. So if they are not here with their technicians, and the most important one is the technicians. So what is the reason of me standing here to say what I want to say? But notwithstanding, it is important for the records also. Let's talk about the main referral hospital is the Edward Francis Small Teaching Hospital in Banjul. But currently, I am telling you, Honorable Speaker, if we have emergency cases, we have to go all the way to Ndemban. And this have to stop. We cannot take this to next year. We are not going to accept this in 2024. Let them create an office so that they will at least attend to emergencies for the people of Banjul. I will give you a scenario. Just 2 months ago, Somebody passed away because of asthma attack. When he got the asthma attack, the family had to get him from Banjul to Ndemban. On the way, he passed away, which was a very unfortunate situation. And we cannot continue losing our people carelessly. We expect services to be done, and effective ones for that matter. We need to move this country for God's sake.
Honorable Speaker,
the issue of persons with disability or differently able people. I think there was an act that was enacted in 2021 here in this parliament. By then, we were not in parliament, some of us. What are we doing to see to it that the implementation is done properly? Just look at today, the direct ministry that is addressing the issue of disability in this country. For the people that are differently able to have access to their office, you need to carry them and take them up. Is that correct? Is that the nation that we want? Accessibility to offices, to especially public office. We should really look at this. It's important. They are part of us. And they have a role to play as far as our development agenda is concerned. What are we doing to empower people that are disabled in this country? But instead, how do we see them? We see them as people that we should sympathize. It has gone beyond that. We must support them. I think this is something that we also need to address.
Honorable Speaker, I believe the Assembly is aware that 2 weeks ago I was appointed as the president of the Global Youth Mental Health Forum by the Peaceful Mind Foundation, which is an organization currently in India, but directly working with United Nations Global Compact. The issue of mental health awareness, I think it is the cornerstone of our country, and you cannot expect me to do better as far as this position is concerned without starting from my own country. So in that regards, I need the support of all the honorable members towards what we are about to do to see that the issue of mental health is addressed in this country. And I also want you to support me to make sure that the rehabilitation centers, as claimed by the government that they want to come up with next year, we see it happen. It's high time we change dreams to realities as a nation. And again, we need to move. Honorable Speaker, going further, the issue of women empowerment. We have seen women in STEM, a great initiative. And when I say women in STEM, I'm talking about women in science, technology, engineering, and maths. Recently, they had an annual conference and they were able to launch the organization. We have smart women that are within this STEM organization. These are women that are doing extremely well. Areas that will take the Gambia forward, especially sustainable areas that will take this country forward. Let us give our eyes to them and support them. Because these are women in science, these are women in technology, these are women in engineering, and these are women in maths. And this is exactly what we need as a nation. Honorable Speaker, the issue of funds being allocated through the Women Enterprise Fund to different women groups in the country, I think we need to look at it. And the ministry has to take it up. You don't expect to give a group of women of 52 members, for example, 100,000? What do you expect them to do with that 100,000 when they are already 52 in number? What are we addressing? Are we giving for the sake of giving, or are we giving for the sake of addressing? I think the government needs to work on this, and this is a call of concern that the women of the Gambia cannot be empowered in such a manner. And it is unacceptable, and we will never agree to that.
Honorable Speaker, going further, the issue of nutrition. The honorable member for Sandimentereng did mention something about nutrition. I think as a nutrition champion, it will be very important to put it to honorable members
it is high time for the government to invest in nutrition. We cannot depend or rely on donors. It cannot be a donor-driven initiative for the Gambia, 100%. It doesn't make sense. We're talking about what you get at the beginning of your life. The milk, for example, from the breast that you use to breastfeed our children is the only balanced diet according to nutrition that we have. So why can't we invest in nutrition? Understanding that if you invest $1 as a government, as an individual, you end up getting $16. What an investment. So I want to implore to the relevant authorities responsible to see how best we can invest when it comes to the issue of nutrition in this country. Honorable Speaker, I have a question. That is why I said in the beginning it was very important to see the ministers here. The issue of AMRC, that is Asset Management Recovery Corporation. The dissolution of that particular institution or office. What next? Because these are assets that belongs to the government. Who is going to manage them? And the way and manner it was done, was it not an act of parliament? So these are things that we should not give blind eyes to. If we really serious about moving this country forward, we must see to it that, look, we talk tete-a-tete. I'm talking to you, honorable members. It's high time we put things in place. It's important. The issue of party politics should be out of parliament. Let us see the interests of the nation, especially the majority of the Gambian people. Honorable Speaker, going further, I will want to inform the August Assembly that we are also suffering as Banjul, the only city in this country, with low water pressure. Still, especially with our people, let's say our policemen and women in police line, which is very unfortunate. These are men and women that take care of our security. Still, they have to struggle, go out of police line and get water so that they can come and use the water either to drink or to cook or to wash their clothes, which is very unfortunate. What are we doing as a nation? The minister was here the last time. He said the problem now lies with the IGP, but what is the Minister of Interior and his ministry doing about it? We need serious people to run this country. And for God's sake, it is high time. This is end of year, and we have to be ready to make sure that 2024 should be the year of the Gambian people. And we can only do that by making sure that we say and do what is right. Honorable Speaker, according to section 128 of the subsection 3 of the Local Government Act, it's very clear. It says central government shall provide 25% of the development fund of all councils. Since 2002, up to date, that is not happening. All what they are saying now, according to the budget, what I saw is they will be given a token. What is that token? Hey, we have to be serious, man. We're talking about people that are directly representing us, the grassroots. And I sometimes ask, are we for real? Because we cannot put laws in our books and we don't do nothing about those.
Thank you very much, Honorable Member for Banjul North. Honorable Member, we are short of time, please. Honorable Member also.
This one is special to me because since I become a parliamentarian, in any adjournment debate, I will talk about the Kabada roads. But Alhamdulillah, thanks to the President, the government, the Ministry of Works, NRA, that road is already on progress. They have started work already. I've been to the ground, I've seen what they have started, and it's on high gear. So I will applaud the government and the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure for that. Because I believe if you are talking about development, it has to start from constructing roads. And this is a dream for us, the people of Kiang and Jara, because this road covers from Kiang down to where Jara ends. So roads is very key in development. As I said, when we were promised these roads, we thought it was just a dream, just a saying like that. But now everybody has seen it is real. So we applaud the government of the day with the ministry for commencing the Kabada routes. We know when you are having development, you will be affected in somehow. Like yesterday during the question and answer session, I was opportune to ask a supplementary question to the Minister of Works about the demolition of houses by the contractor constructing these roads. But thank God, Alhamdulillah, my mind was cleared and then my fears were allayed, that he said all those who are affected will be compensated. If your house is affected, you'll be compensated. And if they have entered into your garden, according to the minister, you'll be compensated. This is very clear. So it was a worry for within the community. People were worried. But also I will just put it up to ask the minister, when is the compensation starting? Because they have started demolishing a lot of houses. Though we understand, even when you have to make omelette, before you make omelette, you have to break the egg. So in development, you need to lose something and then achieve something. That is development. But we will want to know, when is the compensation going to start? Because they have already started, others are affected, and then they are sending this question. They cannot ask it directly, but I'm here as their mouthpiece to ask, when is the compensation going to start? But beside that, we are really happy about this road. We thank the ministry, and then we will want to see this road complete to be like the URR, Sabak Sanjal, and the Nyanija roads, because I went throughout the country. I have seen Opanyomi, Hakalang, so I want Kabada to be like that. The ring road, there was a time I had the president say the ring road. I never know, but we also need the ring road. The ring road. Thank you very much. Honorable Speaker, with that contribution on the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure, I'll move to the Ministry of Agriculture. I think yesterday the minister said here, and in fact during our budget bilateral, the PS is here, he said they are on the process of, or on the proposal of buying 180 tractors and then some rotor boats. I'll appeal to members, if it needs our support, if you come here, I'll appeal to members to support this. Because agriculture is the only solution for us. We talk of inflation, skyrocketing of commodities. But if we have these tractors, and then I was very pleased during our bilateral with the Agri Ministry, the PS, summarized some of the plans and policies. I was so convinced that, agriculture is on the right track now. We will do better. Because we can see
In my own area, like Yara West, we have few tractors, very few tractors. And then others are on the rice fields, others are on the groundnut fields, others are on the coast fields. You know, it's sometimes difficult for a farmer, you know, to farm large hectares, you know, by using the hoe. These tractors, when they're here, I would like Jara West in particular to have many of them. And also the Kabada area, we don't know whether even tractors are existing. Kabada, we don't have any tractor. So we should be considered at least to have 1 or 2 tractors in the Kabada area. Please, Honorable Minister, we will applaud that. And also, we thank the ministry. But I'll say we thank the parliament because the parliament who approved this budget. You can see the subsidy. Here, when we are in parliament, we represent the people. But I believe we also have to give them a clear message on what we do in parliament. The issue of this subsidy on fertilizer, on seeds, many of the farmers, they don't know government is subsidizing. So if we are in parliament, let's tell them the fact. We receive questions. People are asking why the government is fixing price for farmers. The trade season of groundnut has already started. Groundnuts are moving from our neighbors, coming to the Gambia because of the best price we are buying the groundnut this year. I saw it. I went there. Believe me. Yes, I belong. I live around the border. So, because of the good harvest, government have come up with a good price. They subsidize on fertilizer, subsidize on seeds. I think we expect our farmers to sell our groundnut to the Gambia, to the government. Also, when GGC buy this groundnut, it can also bring us foreign currency. It will boost our economy. So we should talk to our farmers, let them know government is subsidizing. Like this year, only on the fertilizer subsidy, this 2024 budget, and the seed subsidy is 500 million plus. 500 million plus. That's a clear signal that the government is in line in assisting the farmers. They are very serious. So as people representative, we should always tell them what is happening. Honorable Minister, okay, Honorable Speaker, still on agriculture, we still applaud you for giving the Saramusa village a garden. Since last year, technicians are coming